Welcome to YouTube Secrets for Accountants. Attract clients like a pro. My name is Tyler S. Clark, and you may be wondering, why am I able to discuss YouTube? There are much bigger YouTube channels out there than the one that I have, but I have managed to build a niche following, establish some degree of expert status through producing consistent video content and leveraging YouTube. And for the clients that I have helped to leverage this platform as well, they will sing its praises even better than I can, because YouTube is still an untapped gold mine for your accounting firm to establish your expert status and attract more of your dream clients. So let's go ahead and discuss why that is the case, starting with this. And it's a simple analogy, because most people don't get started because there's a lot of fears, there's a lot of hesitation, perfectionism. You're looking at the people who've already created the QuickBooks Online tutorials, the Hector Garcias of the world, the people who have big channels, and you go, how could I ever compete with them? Why would anyone ever pay attention to me? But you'll see people who validate reasons for you to not get started. And they'll be like, I was lucky, I'm popular now because I started a bunch of years ago. So therefore, you're not going to get lucky. You're not going to be like the people you see. So you shouldn't start. And then the comment sections are filled with people cheering on this advice. So I just want to be like, if you would like to validate your reasons for quitting before you start, you can stop watching now. If you'd like to have a lot of amazing reasons for why you should get started, or how to make your existing channel even better to help you grow your accounting firm, just stick around. I've got a lot. Okay. So the first is an analogy. And the analogy is this. If I told you that, hey, I can get you beachfront real estate for your accounting firm, and you're guaranteed to have 10, 15, 20 people per day that meet your dream client profile, wealthy, affluent, need help, and can see your sign for services. They can see it and they walk by every single day. And you wouldn't have to pay a penny to acquire this beachfront real estate that is filled with your dream clients walking by every single day. Would you want to take me up on it? And again, it doesn't cost you anything. You'd say, Tyler, I would be an absolute fool to not take you up on that. Exactly. That is the analogy that I like to use for YouTube, which is you are effectively claiming what I would refer to as internet online real estate. And that real estate appreciates in value over time, so long as you're consistent with it. Because like anything in life, the first time you do anything, you suck. If you embrace the suck, you get better at it. And then if you keep sticking with it and get better and better, people pay attention to you. You start with one person, two people, 3, 20, 30, 300. And I'll share a small statistic with you that I thought was pretty interesting, because we were crunching a bunch of numbers before this video. I said, how many subscribers do we get per video, right? Because YouTube to me is like the hardest platform. YouTube's tough. Getting subscribers is hard. We average 10 subscribers per video we put out. Not incredible by any stretch of the imagination. Obviously, there's plenty of people who crush us in that metric. But for a niche audience like ours, it's not that bad. And you might say, but that sounds pretty bad to me. And I say, well, comparison is the thief of joy. If you're comparing yourself to these enormous people who've been at it way longer than you have, of course, the numbers aren't going to seem that great. Anyone who produces content will tell you, I just wish I got started sooner. All the fears, all the things in your head, they're not worth a damn. Get started. Your future self will thank you a million times over for getting started and staying consistent. But here's the analogy that I like to make to, again, just drive this point home. If I told you, again, if I could say, hey, I've got 5 people that meet your dream client profile that would like to sit down for a lunch and learn with you. I can't guarantee they'll stay for the entire lunch, but they'll at least come in, see your face, probably hear at least 10 to 20 seconds of what you have to say. And then it's on you to capture their attention, get them to sit down and want to sit for the rest of the 20, 30-minute lunch and learn that you're going to do. Doesn't cost you anything, doesn't cost them anything. Would you want that? Most people will be like, yeah, that sounds reasonable. I mean, as long as they're type of people I would want to be paying attention to, sure. And then I go, cool. So why are you so downtrodden about just getting 5 views? I want to connect you to the idea that a view is more or less the same thing as a butt in a seat in a physical in-person event, because you start with a lunch and learn with 5 people. And then you go to a small seminar room with 10 or 20 people. And then you go to an auditorium or a larger conference room with 50 to 100 people. And then all of a sudden you're in a really big event space with 2,000 people. And I bring this up because we don't connect those small little numbers, those little view counts to you. You're a person. You're on the other end of this. You're listening to this. You're likely very close to the dream client profile that we have designed. And that is not by accident, because of the way we do very specific things, which I'll cover in a second. But again, it's like, just if you're willing to make that trade and you like that, but you don't want to have to book the space, pay the money for the event space, try and figure out how to get people to physically show up somewhere, but you want the result that comes along from the attention that they're willing to give you to hear your message, YouTube is the untapped goldmine. And if you're wondering, like, well, how does it apply for, niche specific accountants? What are they doing as opposed to you, Tyler? Absolutely. So there are 2 examples that there's a lot of great ones. Any client that does this, I just, like, my hat is off to them because they are willing to create as opposed to just consume. If you're ever trying to inverse your wealth, just think about your consumption to creation ratio. If you consume more than you create, well, that does not lead to wealth. If you create more than you consume, that is one of the indicators of wealth creation. Additionally, a few other enormous benefits of YouTube is, one, if you are tired of saying the same things over and over again to prospects, if you're tired of people not knowing who you are and you feel like you have to razzle dazzle on the sales call, there's an expression that I say a lot in my community with our clients, and it's, if you give the market nothing in advance, you have to sell harder. Nobody likes a hard sell. Nobody likes it. But if you don't actually actively market yourself consistently through the most ubiquitous form of content consumption on the internet, which is video, over 80% of all content consumed online is video. So if you're not doing it, you're just fighting an uphill battle. People just barely know you exist. They don't know you're an expert. They don't recognize your expert status. Yes, CPA designation helps. Yes, having a nice website helps. But any form of additional video content that shows you demonstrating your expertise, even if they don't watch it, I just have to emphasize this, even if they don't watch it, but they know you're doing it, you've already separated yourself from the vast majority of people who have nothing. They don't even have a single thing online. Another big tactical thing that people miss is the descriptions. So in the descriptions, you want to make sure that the links to book calls with your firm, or the links for taking action, you could drive them to a free Facebook group, you could drive them, of course, to booking a call, anything you want them to do, free download, you want those links to be listed first so that it's easy to get to them. You don't want to have them to click on see more to then find the links. Another big tip is that when you have your homepage video, like your channel, only list one link in the section for the About Us. Why do you only want to list one link? Because if you list 5 links, it's now I have to click twice to get to the link. Whereas if I only list one link, usually your booking call link, you'll see it on our channel. Just look at what I mean. And if you just click that, it immediately takes you to the dedicated thing. So again, it's an economy of clicks. It's less clicks to get where you want. As a general rule of thumb, that helps with increasing conversions. And so that is, again, just another really good tactical way to help convert the traffic from the people that are coming and checking out your stuff to ultimately converting into calls onto your calendar. Another great, I just want to emphasize, and this is super, super useful, is a lot of people look at shorts, whether it's TikTok, stories, and they all want to participate in it. They know that tons of people are consuming YouTube shorts. We've seen a huge bump in our short form content consumption recently. It's getting more and more popular every single passing week. Everyone loves to do the little flip scroll, loads the video. It's just addictive as hell. And In this case, I don't think you should be creating directly for YouTube Shorts. I don't think you should be creating directly for Shorts because it's very time intensive. And I'm not saying like, let me talk like this. Now, here's another version of me talking like this with an alternative opinion. I'm imagining conversations with myself. Like, you got to script all that out. It takes forever. Maybe for you, probably not. But I much prefer long form like this, single shot, easy to do, structured time frame, same time, every single week, go live, what I'm doing. You take that, and then you can do one of two things or both. If you want to make shorts from it, you have two options. Well, three. You do it yourself. Ain't no way. So you're not doing that. Option number two is you hire someone to do it for you. Not a bad option. We have an amazing person. Shout out to Jasmine. She's just an absolute rock star. She's amazing. Does a great job. And the third option, of course, outside of hiring, is you can use Opus.pro. Wrong AI tool. Opus.pro. Upload your long form video clip into Opus.pro, and AI will give you, I think it's 5 to 10 clips, probably like every month, I think. You can just get them for free. It's kind of crazy. Boom. Now you've got your short form content. And as long as you have someone to help you on your marketing side, this is our lead generation specialist strategy. But essentially, you have that person take that, and then they are responsible for putting it on all the platforms. And so you're leveraging AI. You're being very, very conscious with your time. You're not overcommitting in terms of how much you need to do. You don't need to be editing. You don't need to be creating all these like crazy scripts and all these storylines. You're just delivering your expertise, single camera, ideally with a better background than the one I have. And boom, you now have a wonderful piece of long form content that can be split up and also made into short form pieces of content. And now you've got way more traffic than you have ever had before from social media. And again, mostly from YouTube. This is obviously, you can take it and put it elsewhere, but you should just use YouTube as the basis for your video content production for a lot of reasons, but I've given a couple of good ones so far. Another couple of big things that I just want to emphasize the importance of: when you are producing your YouTube content, you're really focused on two big things for you specifically, okay? And so we just came out of a meeting with our team, and once a month we do a content planning meeting. It's an hour long, and the only goal for this meeting, well, there's two goals. We want to review and analyze the content for over the last 30 days and notice any trends or changes in the way it's performing, any things that we've messed with or experimented with. But really what we're there to do is plan the next 30 days of content. Now, we plan 60 days out, but neither here nor there. You're just planning your content out. And what you're really trying to establish inside of this meeting is, what are your titles? Your titles are what drives clicks. And so we've got a really cool guide on how to create super engaging YouTube titles and thumbnails. If you're interested in that, just comment down below and just say, hey, I'd really love that guide, Tyler. And so just comment down below, #proactive, and I'll make sure that you get that a copy of that to help you guys out. 100% for free, no information required. Just let me know, and I will make sure you get that. So anyhow, titles are what drives clicks, and the way that the primary essence of a title is, you want to make sure that it is descriptive of course, what you're going to do. You don't want to mislead them, but you also want there to be some aspect of curiosity. So in this particular title, one of the best words, shout out to Russell Brunson, the master of this word, is secrets. If I say I have a secret, inherently you lean forward, right? It's like, what do you mean you got a secret? Like, I want to hear the secret. So YouTube secrets for accountants, niche, right? What are we going to talk about? YouTube. That's going to elicit some form of curiosity. When you're in that content planning session, you're essentially saying, hey, there's 5 weeks in the month or 4 weeks in the month, depending on what day you're filming on. And you're saying, I need titles. Let's figure out some good titles, maybe a theme for the month. And let's make sure that we have titles that match that theme. Anytime you can attach numbers to your titles, they tend to perform better. And thumbnails, of course, one of the things to be careful about. It's very appealing or very easy to do. Is oftentimes you'll see people who put this, the title is word for word the same in the thumbnail. So there's the title, and then there's the thumbnail, and they read exactly the same. Don't do that. I learned that lesson the hard way. What you want to do is you want to have the title be a little bit more descriptive, and you want the thumbnail to be eye-catching to draw you to the title. So think of the thumbnail as like the scroll stopper, like what's making me stop scrolling, that's catching my eye and going, huh? Like you kind of want them to be like, Usually there's tons of examples on YouTube. That's all it is. It's just full of examples of really killer YouTube thumbnails and titles. Those are the things that are actually being shown to you. So if you're just studying them, you're like, oh, they're blurring out information. Oh, they're using high contrast colors. Oh, the faces are like really large on the thumbnail. Oh, those are the things that we should be incorporating into the graphic design aspects of the way we create thumbnails. You want to generally avoid like AI generated ones. It's sort of like stock photos right now. Like they're really easy to identify for people to just be like, I know this is like weird. This isn't like real. So you want to avoid those, and don't put too much text on them. Like really, no more than 5 words, max. Like generally speaking, like 3, 4 is the sweet spot. So I'll just end with some of the more practical, hands-on like management of the platform once you get into production. And again, just get started. But management's pretty straightforward. You're not going to get a ton of comments, but all of your comments should get replies. And if you like and heart a comment and you pin it, you'll get a bump in the YouTube SEO algorithm rankings. If you're looking to figure out how to get better at YouTube in general without needing to go through more videos like this, there's 2 tools that are free to use that are Google Chrome extensions that are absolutely fantastic. One of them is TubeBuddy is the name. TubeBuddy, great extension, really helpful. I love vidIQ. vidIQ tends to be the one that I use the most, and it gives you more data and more insights into competitors or videos that you'd like to mirror, or it basically shows you their tags. It shows you how well they performed. It shows you how competitive the keywords are. It just helps inform your content strategy quite a bit. So highly recommend just installing those. One of the other tactical aspects of YouTube that's really cool that a lot of people don't know about, these are 2 big ones, so I'll end on these. And if you really like this, like if you're like, Tyler, do 3 hours, just please, again, comment proactive. That'll just like tell me that everyone would like more content about how to do well on YouTube for your niche specific audience. Like I'd love to get 50 comments saying proactive, and then I'll release a super masterclass for free on YouTube for your accounting firm. So again, the point is that if you, there are 2 big things that are just like efficiency hacks for ongoing improvement to your existing YouTube channel and videos. So the first one is you can mass update all of your YouTube descriptions at once for all of your videos. So this is typically done for bigger channels that are trying to drive a lot of traffic, but it's also good for smaller ones because if your links change for one reason or another, you rebrand, you change software providers, it doesn't really like things, you have a new offer, you want all your traffic to go to this new offer. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes there's very good reasons just to be like, man, I have 500 videos. You know how hard, you know how time consuming it would be to change the description on 500 videos? It'd be such a waste. So you can mass apply a unified description to all the videos. Now you might say, doesn't that impact SEO? Like what happens? The truth is that YouTube is so good now at just analyzing what's being said in the videos to tell whether or not it deserves to rank on SEO. So you'll see a lot of outdated stuff that say, you got to get your tags right. You got to make sure your description has all your keywords. That shit's dead. That ain't there anymore. It's gone. It's way smarter than that now. It just knows what you're talking about. And then it's like, oh, someone's trying to be like, how to use YouTube as an accountant. This guy seems to say YouTube accountant, and is talking a lot about these things consistently over time and in this video a lot, this is probably a good one to use. Let's slot that and see if it gets enough clicks based on how many people search for it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, second big one, okay? This is also really important, and this came directly from our content planning session. So one of the things that you want to get in the habit of, just as an entrepreneur in general, but definitely as it relates to your marketing, is you always want to say, what do the top 10 look like and what do the bottom 10 look like? So top 10 and bottom 10 means you had some consistency over the last couple of months or weeks or however long it is. Like what is good, what is bad? Good based on metrics, bad based on metrics. So good, we want to do more of those, of course. Bad, you want to do less of them. But here's the cool part. You can also look at the bad and you can change it. So bad is usually related to, you'll see our click-through rate's low, the view count's low, people are checking out really early on the video, right? They're dropping off super quick. YouTube gives a ton of data. I'll do a data studio video later again if we get to 50 comments. So if you see that it's underperforming, you can change the thumbnail and the title at any time. So your whole paralysis by analysis, perfectionism, all that don't mean squat. Because one, you can delete videos if you really hate it. Two, you can change them. And so what we saw is there were 4 videos in the bottom, in the bottom 500 essentially. And we were like, we can probably make them better. Like the thumbnails that I made 4 years ago suck compared to the thumbnails I make today or the team makes today. So it's like, well, why don't we just change these 4 and see if we can make them better? And we probably will. It would be hard for us to do worse. So I'm going to have to cap this one here because I do my best to not make these longer than 30 minutes. But as you can tell, I like this topic a lot. And if you like it and you would like more of it, I think I've been very explicit with my instructions, which is the last tip I will leave you with, which is when you're making your YouTube videos, there's really 3 big things that I always come prepared for. One is the hook or the intro. Hook is more advanced, intro is more standard. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to today's edition of Dream Firm. That's my intro. And I know it like the back of my hand at this point. And then, so that's one version. Hook is more of like, did you know that YouTube is the hidden gold mine of accounting firms that's still untapped for client acquisition? That's a hook. Not a great one, but you get my point. Different approach. If I'm just getting started, just go with the intro. Just get good at it. Just start, okay? Second thing that I always have is an outline. Like I want to have an outline of what I'm going to talk about, not a script. Scripts, while you can generate them pretty quickly through AI, they can have their advantage. If you really need a script, read it word for word. That's going to be your best bet. But you at least want to have some semblance of a direction of what you're going to cover. Just helps keep things moving on track. And the third is an offer and an outro. Obviously, this is technically 4, but I like to have an offer, comment down below, book a call, see you inside the Dream Firms Network. Doesn't really make a difference what it is. Just tell your audience what you want them to do and how to do it. Link down below. Comment down below. Tell them explicitly what you want them to do. And then your outro is essentially how you sign off the video and how you close it out. So you've got your starting point, you've got your ending point, you know what you're going to cover in the middle, and you have an offer within the context of that. That makes sense with what you're doing. And if you do those bookends and what you've got in the middle, you can usually create content pretty effectively without a ton of time required for it. So thank you so much for your most precious resource. Remember that only you can create your dream firm, but we are here to help you every single step of the way. And if you want help creating all of these wonderful aspects of an online brand and presence that makes your online expert status known to your dream clients, well, needless to say, that's essentially what we do and a whole lot more. So links floating around down below, #proactive, and we'll be sure to get you that wonderful guide on creating fantastic YouTube titles and thumbnails. And I will look to see you inside of the Dream Firms Network. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for your most precious resource.